my website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, I want to talk about how to sequence the pentatonic scale, because the pentatonic scale has 5 notes, and that makes it very, it's really cool to lay it out as a 2-note per string shape, right? Where you, let me just, and you get some really cool, you get 5 really cool shapes that you can use for phrasing. But if you want to play some fast runs in it, you have to use hammer-ons and pull-offs, but even that can sometimes, it can be a bit of a challenge to play faster lines. So if you're willing to give up the 1 finger per fret philosophy or mythology and just reach for notes that are just outside of that little box shape, then you can really do some amazing sequences because you get 2 notes that are similar. So for instance, if you lay it out, let's just do the top 3 strings. So in E, so you would have the 12th fret, the 15th, and the 17th. On the high E string, you would have the same frets on the B string, 12, 15, and 17. And on the G string, you would have the 12th, the 14th, and the 16th. You might go for the blue note in the 15th instead of that pentatonic note in the 16th. And I should say, if you want to have tabs for this, charts, then please go to guitarmastery.net and sign up. You can download a whole course on different aspects of guitar playing. You can download the videos, watch them online, and watch the tabs and the charts with them. So we have the 12th, the 15th, and the 17th on the B and E string, and then the 12, 14, and 16/15 on the G string. But that also gives us some of the notes in this shape are the same. So when I go from string to string, I play the same notes. And that's not really effective, right? We don't want that. We want, but again, like in the previous video where we talked about arpeggios, it gives us a new option because we have 2 options as to where to play the next note when we go from string to string. And that's the amazing thing here, because the reason why it's a little bit hard to play the 2-note per string pentatonic shapes faster is because we simply have more string shifting. And if you have 3 notes per string, then suddenly there are 3 notes at least, if you play just the scale, at least between each going from string to string. And that gives us more pause, more inlet towards the string shifting. And that makes it easier to go from string to string. If you have to do, let's say you just do only string shifting, and you go low E string, A string, D string, G, B, E, try to see how fast you can do that. That's string shifting all the time, right? There's no inlet, there's no break in between it, and that makes going from string to string so much harder, magically. It's just like if you have to jump as far as you can, then you have to have some inlet, right? You have to, get into it before you can jump as far as you can. And the same thing goes here. So 2 notes per string is vastly different from 3 notes. But if we lay it out, so we have 3 notes with no extra notes, just pentatonic notes, as we just did, then suddenly you can do some crazy sequencing. And the one I just played in the beginning, and the cool thing is I'm playing the same exact thing on each string. And I should just give you a rule here that when you go from string to string, choose the middle note out of the 3. Because if you go from that note to this note, you'll play the same note, right? Makes sense. So if either the last or the first note on your string is in the middle, then you won't hit the same note twice. But I have a whole program called Pentatonic Violation, which is just crammed with these sequences that you could go check out if you wanted to. But let's just do this sequence here. Again, it sounds something like this. And we can take it all the way down. All right, but let's just stay on the right on the top 3 strings there. And I go from 12, 15, and 17. That's kind of a little start there. In fact, let's just drop the first note. Let's just play the sequence as it is on each and every string without no extra notes, so you get the system of it. And that's what I play. I start on the middle note in the 15th fret on the high E string, pick that note, and pick the note in the 17th fret. 4th finger, 3rd, 4th finger. And then pull off down to 15th and pull off down to 12th. So you go. And then hammer on in the 15th and pull off down to 12th. That's it. And as I said in the previous video, if you think this is hard because of stretching, just take that fingering and then pull your hand off and see how it looks. This isn't hard. That's no stretching. Anyone can do this. The challenge is that once you take your fingers out of the comfortable position that you're used to, that you spend thousands of hours playing in, that cage shape, 1 fret per string, 1 fret per finger, then once you go out of that, then your brain immediately starts, whoa! First of all, your muscles, your whole muscle build changes because you have to just move your fingers like that. And the whole programming of your little engine that can push down strings just gets in trouble because suddenly we have another kind of tension in the muscles. And then we have to use them in that state, which is a new thing. But so your brain has to convert what it's used to, which is playing like this, to this. But that isn't a big thing. It's just a thing. And it takes some time to get used to. But once you're used to it, you have a whole new world open up to you where you can do some crazy stuff. The second thing, as I talked about in a previous video, is that it's hard to hit the actual frets. It's hard to be accurate in the beginning because it just feels like, how would I? But gradually, your fingers will get used to being in a position of a minor third and a whole tone like this, for instance. It just feels in a special way, just like this feels in a special way. This is going to... That's actually a good exercise. You play the 12th, 14th, and 15th fret, pick it and pull it off again, and then go 15 and 17 and pull those off. Now you get the difference between the normal. So your brain can really, okay, this is not as hard. It's exactly the same thing, but... Right? Right? It's a good idea because now you can go from the old, to the new, back and forth like that. That will teach your brain to go, oh, old, new, old, new, old, new, right? So that's a very effective little thing there. But let's just play the sequence again. Right? You play that first, and then you play it on the next string as well. Exact same thing, exact same frets. Right? G string, now you have the 12th, 14th, and 16th fret. Hit the middle first, then the top, pull off, all the way down to the 12th fret, hammer onto the 14th and pull off again. So we go. Right? And let's just take it to the other string so we get the full thing here. 12, 14, and 17. Another uncomfortable, but just take your fingers off. Is this so bad? Really? Holding your fingers like this? It's not. I hope I'm not condescending here, but just, talk to yourself in that way. Oh, really? We're having a hard time now? Because we're not having a hard time. What's hard is hitting the freaking frets. So your brain's trying to, right? Just, take it easy. It's not that hard. But we have to break through that wall to get to the other side where this seems comfortable. Really good tip there. Play nothing else but these little shapes here for a month. Just whenever you're playing solo, only playing these shapes for an entire month, and I promise you it'll feel as normal as the old one, old way of playing cage shapes afterwards. But we had the 12th, 14th, and 17th on the G string, and the same thing on the A string, 12, 14, and 17. Same sequence. And then on the bottom string there, we have the 15th, the 17th, and the 12th. Right? So we have them all. Right? A really effective sequence, and you can do a lot of sequences, as I said. The best way of practicing this is to stay on 2 strings, then go just back and forth. We have that little loop. Instead of practicing playing all over the, all over 6 strings, changing your hand position upwards and feeling the change in the strings going from very light to very heavy down here, the fatness, you stay in one place and loop it just until you are really good there. And then you can start expanding it. And then you can do 3 strings. Right? If you want to make a little lick out of it, you can go. Just go down 3 strings and then hit the 14th fret on the D string and then the 12th fret on the G string. And you can, before you play anything, you can play the 12th fret on the high E string, so you get that beginning. So this in the beginning, in the end. Right? And you can of course stay on 1 string as well. You can play the whole. You can do that in the beginning, and do a little variation. So you first do 1 exercise, then perhaps only 1 string, then 3 strings, over and over and over again until it becomes easy. And if you feel fatigued in your hand, take a break. And you can either take frequent breaks or you can slow down to a pace where the brain has to use 0 resources to do it. Those are your 2 options. You can either go, if you can play it at this tempo and you can get everything right, then by all means you can do so. But that will make you tired if this kind of stance with your fingers is new to you. And so if you're tired of going back and forth between practicing and then having to take a break all the time, then practicing a little and then taking a break because you got tired in your hand, then you can simply slow down and practice for an hour by going. This will work. I promise you. Maybe a little faster, right? And while you relax completely, so you're sure you're not using up more ATP, more muscle energy than your body can replenish. That's the trick, right? And relax in your hand. This is a really cool exercise. If you can sit like this in front of the TV for an hour, just having a relaxed hand, not stressing and straining, I promise you, when you then, kick in the distortion afterwards, you suddenly realize that, hey, this really does influence the speed which I can play it at, even though I'm playing super slow. It's the most amazing thing, because playing fast is really only a matter of precision and accuracy. Once you can have precision and accuracy at a faster and faster pace and preserve it, maintain it, then there's no limit. There is a limit, the body's limit to how fast you can play. So go to guitarmastery.net, download the tabs, and get working on it. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.